Hello, my name is Anne and welcome to a Tobyknits Quilty Fun episode 20. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Fridays I talk all about my quilting adventures that started about 2 years ago when the pandemic started. I had always sewn, made clothes and stuff, but I had never actually quilted. I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world to cut up a perfectly pleasant piece of fabric to sew it all back together again in little pieces. However, I decided to try it one day. Not quite sure why. I think it had something to do with the Fat Quarter Shop that I watched a video, and I got hooked. So now I'm a maniac about it. Mondays I talk about knitting, which I've done since I was a little girl. My grandmother, who I live next door to in Liverpool, England, taught me how to knit. Yes, I am British. No, I don't use my Liverpool accent. You wouldn't understand me. And I now live in Canada, hence the Canadian accent. I've been here since I was 25, and I just celebrated my 39-year anniversary of being in Canada. I live in a little village outside of Ottawa, Ontario. I have a husband and 2 boys who also have a boy each, and another one's about to have, my eldest son's about to have a second baby, which is a girl. It's a girl. And I have a stepdaughter, and I have a dog, Toby, who normally introduces my videos, but no longer does because he won't come down to the basement, which is now where my craft room is. And on Wednesdays, I talk about cross stitch, which is a great love of mine that I've had since I was 17. So that's what I talk about each week. I try to keep the videos to 20 minutes, but you can probably tell I talk a lot. So anyway, pull up a chair, get a cup of tea, and let's get comfy. So in today's episode, which is all about the quilting, I have 3 things to show you, actually 4. The first one is a finished piece. I actually finished this, which is my Cotton Cuts Mystery Spring Kit. So Cotton Cuts is an American company, I think, and they produce quilts, so like this, but instead of just sending you all the blocks to make, they make it a mystery. So what they do is they send you pieces of this that you sew all together, and you don't know how they're going to fit into the finished piece. And then at the end, it's like a jigsaw. They tell you all the pieces to put together and make your quilt. So this I thought was lovely. I still have to find some backing for it, and I do have the binding. The binding came with the kit, and then it's all ready to go. The last 3 weeks I did an extra video, I think it was on Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays, where I explained how I put it together. Now there is a new one coming out, an actual full-size quilt. You can get a small or a medium, and it's called Piazza, I think, and it's Italian. It's got all Italian names for all the different colorways, and I am taking part in that, and I will be doing a monthly live, let's hope I can do it live sew along on YouTube. So drop me some notes below what evening of the week you would prefer me to do a live. Is there a particular evening you say, no, I'm too busy with the kids this weekend, or oh, I think I'd rather, no, I watch Sew Becca on her channel on that day. Oh no, I'd rather do this. Let me know what day you think. Basically though, it will be around my husband's schedule because he works nights and sometimes days. So I'll try to do it around him, but I want to try to keep it consistent. So let me know what you would love to see and be part of. You don't actually have to sew the quilt that we're going to sew. If you don't have to, you can just sit and sew and chat with me. Anyway, that's for the future. The other thing I've been working on is Quilting Life has a block of the month, and there is January, February, and March, and this was April. So I really like this one. try to get in the right light for you. It was interesting to put together. They are all, I think you call them snowballs, or so you start with a big piece and then you put a little piece on the corner and then you cut off the excess behind, fold it back and iron it, or press it, I should say. So these are, I don't know if it matters which way it goes. They're all, and then every one of her blocks this month has this churn dash, I think it's called, on the outside, a churn dash. So there is my January, February, and March. Woo! Okay, the other thing I have worked on is I like doing these block of the month things because you have all month to do. It's pretty easy. But of course, I fall behind because we're May and I haven't done the May one yet for that. And I'm doing Beautiful Day block of the month, which is gorgeous. So there is the first one. And we have to make 4. These blocks turn out to be 16 by 16 inches, I think. They're quite big. And compared to this one, oh, these are so nice to put together. I'm telling you now, I'll never do a 6-inch block again because they are too small, too fiddly. And I don't ever feel like I have all my, there's too many bits behind. So I feel like they're bulky. I don't feel like they're flat enough. Whereas the big blocks are beautiful. You don't, the seams are farther apart from each other. So it's easier, I think, in my opinion, to put them together and have them to lay flat. So that was block 1. And we had to make 4. And here is block 2. Isn't that nice? I really like it. So in the center of all of the blocks, these are a panel piece. And the panel piece came with, oh, I don't even know how many of these. You could just use the whole panel piece and turn it into a quilt. But we cut every one of them up and then are sewing them all together. So there is block 1 and block 2. And I think they look lovely. And of course, I had to make 4. Here's another one. And another one. I love this one. It reminds me of, you remember those things you used to put your eye through? It's kaleidoscope, was it? You put your eye and you turn and all the pieces. So that's what that one reminds me of. That reminds me of the kaleidoscope. And then here is the 4th one. And this is like a checker fabric. And it's a really nice project to work on. I'm using the Beautiful Day fabric and I'm using a mixture of fat quarters and fat 8s. You only use each color once, even though that looks like the last one. This is checkers and this is something else, I forget. So it's pretty good, it's pretty decent, and there is leftover. Lastly, I feel like my son is here with my grandson. I'll be right back. Nope, false alarm. Toby was barking at a squirrel. So anyway, lastly, I am doing Duck, Duck, Goose, which is another block of the month, but I don't think it's tied to a month itself. You just, each month you get a new piece. So this was the first one, which I love. And this is the second one I'm working on, block 2. And so far, I have got one little duck already on, and this is using applique, which I'd never done before. And oh, I am getting so down that applique rabbit hole. I'm loving it. I love the fact that you have to trace out the design on the paper. So it's on a, oh my gosh, what's it called? Sticky on the one side and like paper on the other. Oh, I know you're all yelling the word out to me. Fusible web or whatever. Yeah. So heat and bond. So you do that, and then so then you put it on your piece of fabric, and of course you can use scrappy bits, which is great. It doesn't have to be from a big piece. You can just, you know, whatever it fits on and looks good on. Of course, I'm using a specific colorway. And then you iron that onto the one side. Then you bring it over to your background. You lay underneath your background the actual layout chart that you get in the pattern. And then you peel the backs off, so it's sticky on that side now, and you place it down in the positions you want them. And then you iron or press. You don't really iron. And you don't do it for long. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Then what I have to do is I have to sew around the edge of this. So I'll do the orange first in an orange thread, and I use a blanket stitch, and then I'll go around the actual duck itself. And so there's one done, and I still have to write the word duck on, which I then hand stitch, like with a running stitch. And then here is the other one. And this, believe it or not, is supposed to be a beetle. So I have to hand stitch all his bits. Isn't that cute? So that's done. Then I have all the other pieces cut out to do all the other, like sew all these pieces on. So there you can see the little, so these are all cut out ready. And then I have to make a bunch of pinwheels, and this is what they look like. Now, they do a monthly sew along with us, like a live on their website. I got this from Taylor's in Brockville. They actually showed us something that wowed me. So you start out with a piece, 2 pieces, a white piece and a colored piece, this size, like 3 by 3, 4 by 4 or something. And then you sew all the way around the edge. So you're sewing them both together, right sides together, all the way around the edge. Then you cut them into 4. So you're left with, as I drop it, all these little pieces of half square triangles, which you then sew together, like blah, 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 blah. And to get this. Now, my last one, so this one, I felt like, again, when you're doing small pieces together, it's very bumpy in the middle. But she showed me this really great trick. Look. Look at that. So what you do is you unpick a little bit of each side of one, like, row, and then you just turn it so that instead of them being like that and all thick and bumpy in the middle, you turn and you have them both go in opposite directions, but you've released the little bit in the middle, and it makes it lie flat. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? It was for me anyway. So I just have to make up the rest of my little whirligig things, pinwheels, whirligig things. But I will show you this one. I did show it last time, just so you can see how I do my blanket stitch. It's just on the machine. And then here is the word duck. And here, so you can see what I mean about these pinwheels. They're very bulky in the middle. So I might go back in and do the same technique with these before I actually put it all together. So that's what I've been working on this week. It was blocks this week. And yeah, so anyway, that's all I have for you today. So I will leave a link below to the Cotton Cuts new mystery quilt, puzzle mystery quilt, as they call it in the biz. And I am their Canadian ambassador. So if you use the code #ANNPizzazz, you will get a free gift with your first clue, which I think the clue, you can sign up now as of today. And the first clue doesn't ship till July. So, and then you will be billed each month after that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, really it is. So I hope you will join me and come back on Monday for some knitting, and on Wednesday for some cross stitch, or just come back next Friday for some more quilty fun. Okay, bye for now.